Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
Hey guys, before we jump into the episode, I wanted to let you know it is brought to you by Denim. As a business owner myself, I personally know the importance of financial stability and preserving cash flow to help navigate through any freight market. With Denim's comprehensive service offering, you now have an all-in-one financial partner whose platform includes factoring, payments, freight audit, document collection management, and analytics, which help keep your business financially healthy and increase your team's time to focus on revenue-producing activities. You can also take advantage of Denim's free credit check, which they perform on all of your customers. And Denim will proactively reach out to you if they spot any signs of credit deterioration. Finally, Denim always pays your carriers first. As a broker, this is imperative to preserving your credit score in the market, which ultimately helps you become a broker of choice to your carrier partners. Are you ready to learn more? Visit denim.com to schedule a demo today. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you.
This episode is brought to you by SPI Logistics, the premier freight agent logistics firm in North America. For over 40 years, SPI has been diligently building the most successful freight agent network to provide first-class relationships for our shippers, receivers, and carrier partners. We are more than another transportation network. We are a dedicated team of professionals united by one singular purpose, and that is to expedite our agents' success. All of our agents are set up for success on day one, as they are provided with a full suite of support staff that is ready to assist them with everything from after-hours emergencies to financial and administrative needs on a no-fee basis. This way, you can focus on continuing to grow your business. There is no financial risk to start, and you have the ability to earn up to 75% in commissions. If you are looking to take control of your financial future and build your business with the backing of one of the most successful logistics firms in North America, visit www.spi3pl.com to learn more. Do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Podcast, the top podcast in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. But most importantly, you guys provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. I'm going to save the rest of the intro because you guys know what to do. Subscribe, share, get it out there, because I have my literal doppelganger back on the show today. We are going to talk about finances, you guys. Financial Fridays. This is my literal favorite segment of the month to break this topic down. So I have my man, Chief Sean, on the show this morning. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Happy Halloween to the Orange Shirt Gang.
Dude,
we were talking about this before the call, but just so your listeners know, I was Chris Jolly for Halloween this year. That was mine. If you go on the Denim LinkedIn page, you can see a picture. Everybody's got their costumes on. One of our sales reps had a bold move and was the CEO for Halloween, which was a good move by him. And I was you. It was a great day.
I loved that. I laughed so hard because I was like scrolling and I was like, oh, orange shirt. I'm like, wait a second. Dude, that was money. That is solid. And I think what's even better is you did, like, earlier this year, you did that wasn't a deep fake video. That one I still laugh about that to this day. That was not Chris Jolly. That was not a deep fake.
This is AI is getting scary out there, everybody. Look out. You know?
Dude, it is, man. I just had a guest on yesterday. We were talking about AI. The capabilities are alarming.
Alarming and exciting. But yes, alarming.
Oh, dude, I'm right there with you, man. I'm a massive dude. I guess I'm from the old school mentality in freight that wants to leverage that because, you know, as a bootstrap founder, like, dude, I got to turn every dollar of revenue into $15 of return, especially when you're getting the ground running. And, you know, you guys know that very, very well on your side of the industry that, you know, just because you started a business doesn't mean you're instantly rich, right? Like you gotta work
the reverse in many cases.
Dude, I was just talking to a buddy of mine this morning about that. He's been self-employed. He's the founder for a long time. We were just talking about that this morning, that exact topic, and how it's just like, man, how nice it was those days when you had a salary and just every 2 weeks, just a nice direct deposit that just hit with, you know, no BS, just
payroll. It's a nice thing, that payroll.
Yeah. Oh man. But dude, so this week, Financial Friday, we're talking about strengthening carrier relationships, right? And it goes beyond just giving them freight, right? And certain things. So you guys, I want to start with something that you guys recently released here that I think is just like an absolute game changer out there in the carrier market. So what, from a quick pay perspective, man, how have you guys kind of changed that? And what does that look like now?
Yeah, we launched it was July, August was sort of when we kicked off. We're calling it quick pay management. It's basically helping brokers who use Denim use our money too to help create some additional top line for you, the freight broker. So
Yeah.
we know that we didn't invent quick pay, right? Quick pay's been around for a long time. And the quick pay programs today are in a spreadsheet. Maybe it's got 3 columns. You know the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Carrier name, MC number, and like quick pay preference. And you keep that spreadsheet updated. You apply it as best you can. It might have 5,000 rows in it.
Yeah.
And you're just like working your way through it. Every shipment you get, you check the spreadsheet. Maybe you've got someone in your kind of billing group that runs the spreadsheet. And it's like, you're doing something, right? You kind of got it going, but it's not ideal. And so, we launched this quick pay management feature to basically help our clients use Denim's money basically to run and monetize their own quick pay programs. Because, what we're seeing, and you can tell me if you're seeing this too, but like once you get to about, call it a couple $100,000 a month in volume, maybe $500,000 a month in volume, as a freight broker, you're starting to capitalize on those relationships. Mm-hmm. And you're starting to go multi-product. So like multi-streams of revenue. And so the one that's in the nearest reach to you as a freight broker is going to be that quick pay program, because a lot of you have a factoring company anyway. You have the funds that are available to you. You just got to be able to manage it and run the workflows associated with that.
Yeah, I think having that as a quality option it's phenomenal, right? And a lot of carriers, again, for hypothetical examples here, you guys, a lot of carriers are going to look at it's a 5% fee for $1,000 invoice, right? And they would rather pay $50 to get their money today or within 2 days than have to wait 30 days or 60 days or whatever that is. So a lot of people, I mean, dude, I can tell you that right now in the media side of my business, when I was able to do credit card payments through QuickBooks, because when you first start a business, you don't have it all figured out, and it takes a while to realize that there's multiple payment options. But anyways, once I figured that out, I was like, damn, I can get my money so much faster. Yeah, there's a fee associated with it. It's 2% or whatever through QuickBooks, but that opened up my ability to manage my cash flow so much more as, my bills come in, because, not everything's due at the same time, it's spread out. And, when you own a business, sometimes we're talking of, a couple $1,000s at a pop that are due, and, managing cash flow again here, you guys, is what it's all about. So carriers to have that. And then think about it like this, what's the average invoice of a load out there, Sean? What do you guys
$1,700?
Yeah,
$1,700, something like that.
So say you have a carrier who's doing 10 of those in a month, and you're at 1,700, that's $17,000. Again, I went to public school, so we're going to be super easy with this.
That's good so far. I can co-sign that math.
Perfect. And there's a 5% fee associated on that, so we're talking, about we'll round up to $1,000 of what they're going to pay. So they'll pay $1,000. They'll take $1,000 off those invoices to get that cash in right away. And that is a massive influx of cash flow to small businesses, you guys, because the reality is most small businesses are 30 days from going out of business every month as they're getting off the ground running.
Yep.
Because, again, you don't just magically turn into a profitable business just because you filed your LLC.
100%. And so the timing on this is quite nice too. Some of you may have seen we're in earnings season again. So everybody get back on the earnings season kind of merry-go-round. CH did their call yesterday, and the volume was like not great, right? Like not anything to write home about, but their profits were excellent. Like they made great improvements on pricing, which is like telling me that, we might see like, take it with a grain of salt. They are CH, right? But like there is some appetite to be able to raise rates a bit. And so especially as brokers and carriers are sort of coming off of this, floor that we've been bouncing around over the last 18, 24 months or whatever, there's room for carriers to take on extra cash, be able to pay for that cash, right? And feel more comfortable. Like, everybody likes cash. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. It makes you feel a little bit better when you've got an extra zero hanging out in your bank account to kind of live another day.
Yeah. And I think that it's imperative for a lot of, because that 90% of the industry is small business, to have access to cash, having that access to cash. And then, and I'll tell you this, as somebody who's getting their business off the ground running here, ultimately, you guys, paying a little bit of a fee is required until you have the money, you guys, because in the
especially in an asset business,
dude,
they're expensive.
If you're going to operate in business, until you are at a position to where you don't need other people's money to operate your business, which is almost a rare, I would say it's more rare to find a fully funded like a self-funded business out there than not. I feel even the largest carriers out there, if you're, and Sean, you have more of a finance knowledge than I do on this. If you're publicly traded, you have investors, so you're not privately funded, right? At that point, you've
also got corporate debt that's really favorable. I'll give you a stat here. So this is on our data. We've got 80,000 carriers kind of that we're paying, 100,000 carriers that we're paying. And on average, four fleets between 200 and 1,000 trucks factor 50% of the time.
Dang.
Is that wild?
Wow.
Between 200 and 1,000 trucks factor 50% of the time because we pay them, right?
Yep.
And we know, do we pay the factoring company or do we pay them directly, right? And if you're paying I'm sorry, I can't wear my son's fire hat anymore. This was a good time. I was trying to be Halloween festive, but I've got to bail, But yeah, 50% for companies of that size, 200, 300, 500, 800 trucks, 50% of the time.
That's wild to think. That 200 to 800 trucks in your fleet, and they're factoring 50% of the time. So let me
don't dog on the factoring game, everybody. Okay, it's part of what you need to live. It's part of the game.
I look at it like this, man. Again, like I think that there's this false sense that like money is just free. Like there's this false sense of like, just because like that it's out there. Almost every industry has factoring of some sort. And if it's not a factoring company, it's going to be a line of credit from the bank. And you could argue that's kind of factoring because they are taking a certain percentage. Because like my business right now, my freight company, we have I think some line of credit. I forget how much. My business partner does all that shit. I just sell. Anyways, but there's a fee associated with that, right? It's just like if you have a credit card for your business, there is a fee associated with that. So credit, factoring, it's all one and the same. I don't know why factoring necessarily gets a bad rap out there, because again, if you're going to take out a loan to start your business, there's a fee associated with that. People charge you money. If you own a home, interest rate on your mortgage, you guys, people charge.
Surprise. You pay an interest on your mortgage.
Exactly. Shocker, right? Until you are at a point that you are financially independent. And even then, man, people still utilize other banks. Like, dude, I forget who it was, but I watched it was either a TED Talk or something on YouTube where a very, very successful founder of a company was like, why would I utilize my own cash and put that out there when I can just have a bank and have them take on all the risk and put everything on a line of credit or a credit card? Because if somebody, like ultimately, if I file for bankruptcy, and he was breaking that down like that about how it is easier for him, and he would highly recommend everybody out there have a financial partner regardless of the stage of your business. And now there's two schools of thought behind all of this, and I get that, right? But ultimately, I think you have to look at it as a freight broker. How are people going to want to work with you as things progress, right? Because it is very much a thing out there, you guys, where carriers will decide, maybe not in today's market, maybe not today, but they will decide, I'm going to haul your freight because you have quick pay and you offer a better fee or no fee or whatever that is to get them access to funds. That is a very real conversation that is had behind the scenes out there. And that is, to me, that is such a massive value add to your carrier partners. Do you offer quick pay? If you do, awesome. What's your fee? If somebody's at 5% or 2.5%, you better bet your ass they're going to take the one at 2.5% or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
They're out there shopping that stuff.
Yeah, totally. And like what we tell, we have fleets on our book, and we say, like, if you can get a better quick pay fee than what it takes to factor with us, go ahead and take it.
Mhm.
Totally fine. And we're rooting for you, and we're still happy to collect on your behalf. We're still happy to, manage that risk associated with that and take the fee, and that's perfect. Here's what I would say to the brokers out there. The best quick pay programs have optionality and availability. Those are the two things that I would say. So when you think about your quick pay program,
Yeah.
here's what I would tell you. It's got to be available. When I say available, I mean it's got to be accessible, timely. You've got to put the option in front of the carrier at the right time. And so maybe it's the first time you're working with them. They're setting up their packet with, any of your favorite kind of carrier vetting platforms out there, carrier onboarding platforms out there, and you ask them, when do you want to get paid? Here are the quick pay options. Sign up for every load you run with me. We'll take your carrier kind of quick pay preferences in mind. Perfect. Let's say they opt out. Put it at the bottom of an email after tender or at tender. Hey, just FYI, in case you're looking for it, here's the quick pay program we offer. Let me know if you want to opt in. If I don't hear from you, I assume that you won't, right? And so just like give them the chance to be able to opt in if they want, so that they can get it in front of them. Here's the second thing I would tell you. Optionality. So if you're looking for a quick pay option, be mindful of your own cost of capital, whether that be through a factoring company or a line of credit or otherwise. Mark it up, make some money. Don't take advantage of people. But you've got to put something into this because this quick pay program is work. So there's value to be created there. And then give them a choice. So we launched Express Factoring this week. Some of you may have seen on our LinkedIn. Money in minutes to your carrier's bank account. We're not putting it on a card. It's not going into some reserve you got to collect later. Money to your debit card, right? In minutes. Give them the option. It's great.
How does that work though, Sean? Like, when we're talking money in minutes here, is it like a bank transfer where you guys are essentially initiating a wire that gets to the carriers today? And then is that a way, and I want to talk about kind of like the feasibility of this in the sense of like, one of your carriers is like, hey man, we just got popped for a maintenance. We need our cash today. Can you do that? And then they can offer that one time, but then they don't need it the next time or something like that. Can you walk me through how that looks?
100%. Yeah. So we have a number of payment rails that we utilize. About 80% or so of our clients and carriers are eligible. They have like an eligible bank account. No offense to those in the East Odessa Village Savings and Credit Union. It's probably not it. But like we use a number of payment rails, and we have automated the risk checks. Basically, we have like a risk engine, and if your particular shipment or invoice that you want to factor passes our risk checks, you have a bank account that qualifies. We shoot that thing out in like less than 5 minutes. I think it's like 3 or 4 minutes, depending on kind of what part of the clock it's running on. And our CTO Sean we had an offsite as a company in Charleston a week or so ago, and Sean did a live demo money movement during our all hands presentation, and it was awesome. The room exploded when he refreshed his bank and saw the money kind of pop in after it got submitted. It was really neat. It was really cool to see.
Dude, but the instant access to financing is I mean, I'm telling you, man, like when real world emergencies happen out there, to be able to have that. And again, it's just like, I feel like there's certain situations that it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And, because again, like real things happen in the real world, you guys. Like a lot of people, I think, assess it as like perfect world scenarios because they think like it's never going to come up. And that's just not the case, right? And, it's not like this is like a payday loan where there's 100% interest rate or something like that that's associated with it. And I think like just having it, and to me, it's more about that ease of working with you, because ultimately that is what it's going to boil down to, is how easy is it to work with you? How easy is it to get paid? And, you see these posts all the time about, brokers not wanting to be a bank and everything else, and which I fully understand.
Brokers not being a bank is popular right now. It's popular. A lot of people are talking about it.
But it's also like you need to be in a position, or at least have a financial partner that's able to work with you to make you more appealing. Because ultimately, you guys, like, and again, it's easy to sit here and say that we're not experiencing that right now because the freight market is loose. Carriers aren't necessarily, you're not having to beg people to take your freight. But that will be a reality here coming up at some point. Or you know what? It's going to get down to the point where it's going to be the only trucks in your area are going to have to be like, hey man, how can you pay me fast? How fast can you pay me on this load? And then you might lose out on that. It's just a very real scenario that a lot of people haven't quite experienced yet, man.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to change. And if you've already established these relationships, let's say you have this quick pay program and you've got a one pager that explains it. You've got a doc that shows people, oh, you're looking like a pro here, right? Like you're not looking like some kind of fly by night problem situation. I mean, you are professional. You're providing a service. You understand the relationship, and you're making money too, right? So like, there's a lot of things that sort of check the box here. And so if you provide those options to your carriers, they can get paid now. They can get paid tomorrow. They can get paid next week, next month, right? Whatever is good for them. And ideally, you're in a situation to be able to offer kind of a price point associated with that, and optionality and availability. And that's how you drive up that quick pay revenue.
No, I think that, again, it is a potential revenue stream for your business as well, if you need it. And I think that that's why a lot of the larger brokers that are out there, I feel like that. I mean, that's why, ultimately, not even the larger brokers, there's a lot of brokers out there who have a quick pay program, and, again, it's just getting access to that. So like having multiple options as a factoring company, Sean, like this, like what was the real, like, was there a demand from your guys' customers that were like, hey, we want to do this now? What was kind of the deciding factor, as Denim being like, hey, we're going to do this and this is how we're going to roll it out? Because like, it's a bold strategy, as like it's a very bold strategy to go out. I personally love it, right? Because I'm just naturally a very large risk taker. So I'm like, fuck it, let's roll. But like, what did that look like?
Yeah, a few things were big for us. One, we're not taking any fee on the quick pay, right? So like the brokers get to keep it all. They get to price it all. It's sort of their program that we're able to manage on their behalf. And it came up because we started launching this flexible factoring program. People could, you remember the airline picker, if you want to get paid here, your rate is this. If you want to get paid there, your rate is that. And our clients were like, this is sick. Like we would love to be able to price our carriers according to this too. Can you help us pass along these fees and give them the same optionality that you give us? And we were like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And they were like, hey, wait, before you go, let me show you our spreadsheet. And oh my God, we saw some of these spreadsheets that people are like, oh God, this is terrible. I feel badly. I feel badly that we're like creating an environment where like this sort of tracking exists, right? It's gotta be, there's better tools. It's a better world. We're way too well positioned to not do something like this. So that was what took off. And we launched it a couple of months ago now. I think we've run like $65,000 of new revenue for our clients over the last like couple of months of quick pay revenue. It's like real money.
Yeah, dude, that's very real money ultimately. And dude, so how do you think that this is going to change things from like a payments perspective out there, right? Like, because, when you're out there throwing that, and like the no fee that's associated with it, just to clarify for people, the no fee is something that the broker can pass out to the carrier essentially, right? Where it's like, you don't get charged anything out, like, or is it, hey, your standard factoring fee of, hypothetical example, 5% is still associated with it, but you can get your money today and we're not going to charge you anything additional to that?
So a common, and a lot of your listeners probably know this, a common pricing structure for factoring companies is you charge a factoring fee to the broker and then they'll charge a quick pay fee to the carrier, right? Yeah. Like that's a common kind of structure. And so we kind of flip that on its head And we're telling our clients, we're telling these brokers, however many days you need the money, we will just charge you. It's kind of similar to like a line of credit, right? It's like days funds outstanding or days funds utilized. And we'll basically give you a rate on that. And you can charge quick pay fees. You can not. You can charge it for whatever amount you want. You can pass it along because maybe you're in a sticky spot and you want to give somebody an incentive or whatever. And that sort of optionality doesn't exist in most of factoring. This sort of like flexibility that our clients get to bake into their quick pay program. So we did it because it's up to the brokers to make the sell, right? It's like, we're going to give you all the tools you can. We're going to make it easy as hell for you to be able to do it. And if you get a take, that's great. I mean, our fee is more because you utilize funds faster because you're paying earlier, right? Which is fine. But more importantly, you're able to help your carriers out and you're able to run a healthier brokerage. And I mean, wait, can I give you you gave it back of the napkin. Can I give you a back of the napkin right back?
Yeah.
So $10 million a year to brokerage, right? Let's say you did 10,000 loads at $1,000 a load, right? That's how you got your $10 million brokerage. Now, 25% of those loads, you get a quick pay fee at 3%, which would be great. That is $75,000 a year, right? That's a head count.
Yeah. That's
$75,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like you're paying for a billing person, you're paying for an AP person, you're paying for a salesperson, maybe, right? You're basically funneling that money back into the business off of just this kind of secondary revenue stream.
I mean, do you think that this is going to? How do you think that this is going to sustain and kind of, is it going to, grow in popularity, we'll call it, here over the next couple of years? Because again, as everybody out there is claiming we're looking for the market to shift and to shift and to shift, it's not going to shift in brokers' favor, right? Like it's not.
Not for now, no.
Capacity is going to tighten up. Rates are going to raise to the carriers and everything else. And yeah, the rates will naturally go up to brokers at times as well within that. But like, do you see this as like more and more business owners are going to look at this? Because I already know my answer, but I want to get your opinion on it. That they're going to look at something like this and be like we have to do this. Like this is something that we have to do. Or they might start pressuring their current factoring company to be like, why the hell aren't you guys offering this?
Yeah, I think the latter is already happening based on what we've heard. Now, I will tell you, it feels like just yesterday we were at 0% interest and money was free and all that good stuff. And I'll tell you what, we are a long way away from that kind of coming back again. And when we were in kind of this zero interest rate period, it was a lot easier to give quick pay away as incentives and to work with me as a broker. It'd be great. Here's your quick pay. I have a hard time seeing that kind of come back. I think people recognize that money costs money, and these sort of quick pay programs are going to be more prevalent and available, and I hope more systematic. Like we're running it at Denim for our clients, and it's taken. We gotta really, I love up and to the right charts.
Yeah,
Jolly. Like we've got a really sick up and to the right chart of carriers making money or brokers making money on quick pay programs with their carrier partners on our platform, and it's more consistent. It's less work for them. It's no work for them, right? And they're able to kind of take that home and take it back to the business. And so we love doing stuff like that. There are folks at Relay who are also doing some really cool stuff in the quick pay space. Relay's got a NASCAR car. If you haven't seen it, they're a cool group of folks. Besides that, I don't know a ton of people that are kind of doing it standalone. So find somebody that can help you manage a quick pay program. Don't run on a spreadsheet. It's going to suck. You're going to make a mistake. Like you're not going to update it. You're going to leave money on the table, right? Find a better way to find a faster horse.
To me, man, it's like the flexibility of it that you can offer is, I think, like the biggest selling point, right? Where it's like you can tell your carrier partners, like it's there if you need it, no pressure if you don't, right? And it's more about just opening up that window to them because, again, talk about breakdowns or blowouts or something like that. They might need access to cash, and then giving them that opportunity to go in there. So is this, if you could answer this for me, Sean, is this something where it's like, say my carriers delivered a load 2 weeks or 2 loads 2 weeks ago, they got $2,000 coming their way. and now something happened, can they call me as a broker and be like, hey man, can I get paid on these quick pay, on these 2 invoices? We just had this happen. We need a couple $1,000. And then I call Sean and I'm like, hey, Sean, can we authorize this?
Yeah, and you don't even have to do that. So we've got I think it's coming out maybe a few months or so, maybe start of the new year, where the carrier will be able to opt in themselves on an email
nice.
that we can send to you on behalf of the brokerage. Be like, hey, you're getting paid by Denim for your work with the Freight Coach Logistics. If you want to get paid earlier, or if you want to change your pay date, click here. And we'll just run the math for you and do it. All of a sudden, you get a nice little deposit, $25. Like, oh shit, pretty sick, right? And so that sort of stuff is just going to be available to you and clients at Denim, so that these quick pay programs can kind of run themselves. And I did bring my mug today, Jolly. This calls for a spreadsheet mug, just in case people wanted to know.
Oh, dude, that's money. But dude, the flexibility of that aspect is it's invaluable. It truly is. And then knowing, and especially when you're out there working with the same trucking companies time and time again, as I preach, and to be able to give them that option of like, hey, if you need it, go through, change that. We'll help you out with that to get your cash and everything. And it just keeps them going, because otherwise the after effect is their truck might be down for a few weeks, and then you got to scramble to cover all of the freight that they might be doing. So again, you guys, there are after effects of a lot of this, but dude, as always, man, money episode. I feel so much more prepared and confident every time that we talk about, like, it's going to be all right from a business financial standpoint.
Hey, for those of you are out there haven't stood up a program yet, think about it. Like, you should think about it. It's real money, especially if you're operating in a sense where you got some reliable freight coming in. Like, it's a nice little revenue stream.
Dude, I agree 100%, man. Sean, thank you so much for joining me. As always, you guys know how to find Sean. You guys know how to find Denim. But if you don't, hit me up. I will gladly put you guys in contact with my friends over at Denim to learn more about what they got going on. But that is a wrap for Financial Friday out here, man. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back on Monday, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, if you guys got value in what you heard, subscribe to the show, you guys. Share it out there to your network, because if you see value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.